Dear women, Angella Katatumba just raised the bar for us. Normalize luxury in your life. Normalize it. And don't be offended by it. Hi people, how you will be back to my YouTube channel. I'm Victoria, and in case you're new here and in case you're returning, thank you very much. So as the title suggests, it's going to be my take on Angella Katatumba. Yes, a video surfaced online this week where Angella Katatumba was being interviewed, and she was asked about doing housework, cooking and the likes. And this is what she's had to say. She said, I was raised to hustle, not to look after a man. Man, Angella Katatumba is up there to look after you. Anyway, my dad taught me to work hard and hire people, so you can't find me in the kitchen or washing. She goes ahead and says, it doesn't make me a bad person, but that's how I was raised. I can't go hustle, come back tired, and expect me to do house chores. I am so in support with Angella Katatumba. Like, I can't. Like, I personally, I can't go out hustle, come back home tired, and you'll find me doing house chores. I can't. And I'd support her. And she has a right. And she said she was raised that way. Take it in or say no to it. As in, you are not her. You are not the one who raised her. You didn't raise her to hustle. It is her parents who raised her. And they raised her in the way they knew was best for her. And you know what? So some women actually supporting it and are saying, I think she's right. And I think it's because of the society we are in right now. We all know that these days women hustle to put food on their plates. Women hustle to educate their own children in this century. So many single mothers out there who are hustling to make sure they make ends meet for their families, for the children they had with a certain man somewhere. And oh, that reminds me, the Bible also talks about the way we should raise a child, and it says, show the child the way to grow, and even when they grow up, they'll never walk away from that way. When you raise them, they'll never walk away from that. That is literally it. Angella Katatumba said what she said, and yes, so many people came out for her saying she is wrong. She ain't wrong. She's right. She's doing her. She's not doing you. She's doing what she feels is comfortable with her. And she put it right. She can't go out, work for that money. If she can hire someone, well and good. As long as she can pay someone to do that for her, to do the cooking, to do the house chores for her, it is okay. And the fact that it came from Angella Katatumba, that is why everyone made a big fuss out of it. But it's the way it is. Most of the women there are not doing housework for themselves. They do hire people. Like these days, so you usually see women with very long fingernails. How do you think they do housework? How? They literally do not. They hire people to do that for them. So it is simple. Do you, and let Angella Katatumba do her. I love the fact that Angella Katatumba is one person who stands with her statements. When she says this is like this, I remember at the beginning of last year, there's a time she was asked about dating someone and she said yes. And when they walked out of the relationship, she was like, this is what happened and I'm standing by it. And people are like, no, you're wrong. You can't, but she's one person who will say, whether you're saying I am wrong or I'm right, I am standing by my statements. And it's simple. I was raised to hustle. You can as well raise your children the way you want to raise them. How do you want? Do you want to raise them to hustle and also do housework at the same time? Well and good. Do you want to teach them how to hustle and also hire people? Well and good. Do you? Do not do her. Do what you totally and completely want. Do what you feel is okay with you. Raise your children the way you want. No one is going to stop you. No one is going to tell you that, you know what, that is wrong. No. You raise them the way you want to raise them, and no one will stop you. So she was raised that way. raise your children the way you want, and let us have peace. But I want to tell you one thing, that with this 21st century, having so many women hustling to make ends meet for their families, we are still going to have a lot of that. Women will go out hustle. They will teach their children that there is hustling out there and someone can help you at home, because that is what it is. Most of our women you see out there hustling have people who help them out at home. And you know what? We do all these things where the part where she starts from, that I was raised to hustle, not to look after a man. Trust me. She was raised to hustle, not to look after a man. It doesn't mean, that's where she comes in and she says she's not a bad person. She's not. She can look after you, but in terms of doing house chores, in terms of cooking, she is not going to do for you. She will love you. She'll show you the love you want, but she won't do the house chores for you or do the washing for you. She will hire someone to do that for you, because she's hustling and she will not come back home and do those things, since she hired people to do them. And that is where everyone will say, but men have to do, people will come and say, a man has to be looked after. Looked after when you're loving them. Not when a certain story came out in 2009 of a pastor who left his wife and started dating someone he was employing. And then this woman was like, I watched that story, and she was like, I knelt down for him and told him that you leave this woman, chase her, she's going to spoil our marriage. That pastor did not chase that woman. He did not. And they are with the woman right now. What does this mean? And why I concur with Angela is, I wasn't raised, let me repeat that. I was raised to hustle, not to look after a man. So it's simple. That's the story. If you watch the story of that pastor, how things came up and down, like how they pulled ropes with that, and then the side chick who ended up with the man, and how the woman knelt down to tell her, it is simple. It just tells us, I wasn't raised to look after a man in that sense of doing housework for them, but I was raised to love them. Yes, I can love them, but doing these extra things, kneeling for them, like my culture says, Buganda culture, you have to kneel for a man. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to wash the clothes. I'm going to hire someone. It is okay. But if you're there and you feel like, no, me, I'll kneel for my man even when he cheats, it is okay. If you feel like, me, I'll do housework for my man even when I am tired and I don't even feel myself, I lose myself to this marriage or to this relationship, well and good, that is you. But you know what? It is better to do you, like I said. Let Angella Katatumba do her. Let whoever is in the category of Angella Katatumba do them, and you also do you. Stand for what you want. Stand for whatever you believe in. If you believe in going out to hustle, doing house chores, raising your children to do that, well and good. And no one said it, but it's okay to teach your children how to do house chores. It is okay to teach your children also how to hustle. Because at the end of that day, they are going to decide how their lives move on when they grow up. Right now, I decide what I want. But I was raised in a certain way. And we all know in the African culture, we are raised, most of the times we are raised to, we are raised with this thing of you have to take care of the home. We are, like, our minds are set to how to take care of a man from day one, when you start understanding and doing housework. But who raises a man that way? Are men also raised to, to think that from day one you're supposed to be taking care of the home? And if they were raised that way and they were perfect, why is that we're having so many single mothers? So that means there is a gap somewhere that has to be put right. Much as you're raising these girls the way you want them to go, you have to hustle, you have to do the housework as well. Also raise the men to tell them that, you know what, you also have to be helpers in the home. You also have to take care of the home. Don't raise, a girl a certain way and raise a boy a certain way. Raise them in the same way possible, because literally we are not going to run away from that truth. The truth of the matter is, in this century, and there's so many centuries to come, women are not going to stay home. Women are no longer what people used to say that women are meant for the kitchen. No, they also sit on those tables. Queens. There's a lady who I follow who always talks about queens. So queens, women are queens who also sit on the same table with men. They are queens who also hustle for the money they want. They are queens who want to see their lives better. And they still want that marriage to go on. Yes, it's not like if they want to hustle or if they have mates, it means that they don't want to love their men, or it means that they don't want to get married, or it means that they don't want the best for their love life. They do. But the fact that they want it for them, they also have to hustle to add something to men out there. So Angella Katatumba, I totally support you. Do you, girl. Be you, girl. Do not dwell on what someone else says. And thank you for raising that bar high for the women out there who feel like, who have always been, or condemned for being them, who have always been told you're not supposed to do that. You're a woman, who have been always told you're supposed to do house chores when you get back home. You've hustled. Like, I remember I was doing a 9 to 8 job, 8 p.m. job. So you're telling me I go back home, I go look for that money, look for the dimes, then come back home, and I have to make sure it is all, well tidy. It is all the way the man wants to see it. And yet sometimes the man may have gotten back home before me. Sweethearts, people, it is now different. It is now very different, and very different. Hire someone if you have to. Do what you want to do. Be you. Raise your bar, because no one is going to raise it for you. And as we conclude, let us end with this statement. It is a quote from Solomon Bucci. He's, I think, a motivational speaker. And he said this: dear women, if you can get a housekeeper, please get one. If you can get a cook, please get one. Always look for easier ways to do things. Hello. Look for easier ways to do things, not the harder ways, not what the society is dictating for you. No, you are you, so you do you. And he says, your womanhood should not be about suffering. Hello? Why would we make womanhood about suffering? Because that is what people have made it. They have made women look like, they've made it like a crime being a woman. Society has made women look like you have to suffer. But hey, he says your womanhood should not be about suffering. No, don't suffer, dear queen. Don't. Normalize luxury in your life. Normalize it. So if to you luxury is hiring people to do housework for you, do it. If to you luxury is going out to a spa to take care of yourself, do it. What is luxury to you? Normalize it, dear queen. Yeah? Preserve yourself. I'm done. Like, preserve yourself. Simple. It is as simple as that. Dear women, Angella Katatumba just raised the bar for us. Normalize luxury in your life. Normalize it. And don't be offended by it. Let it be what it is. If someone feels it shouldn't be that way, they are them. Let them get their own lives. Live your own lives and let people live their own life. Thank you in another video.